Dave here at the house. I'm going to be talking to you about how to buy jacket, pants, snowboard clothing in general. The first thing you want to do is determine what kind of rider you are, whether you're going to be looking to do stuff in the park, whether you're looking to do like trees, powder, big mountain stuff, or whether you're looking for kind of everything in between, like all mountain freestyle or all mountain, as certain companies will term it. Once you decide that, say you're a park rider, you're going to be looking for something that's going to be very, very durable. You know, you're going to be falling, coming in contact with metal, you know, on the rails or boxes. Your jacket's going to be subjected usually to rope tows, something like that. So you want your stuff to be maybe of a thicker shell fabric, a little bit more durable. Same thing kind of applies for, you know, the backcountry guy as well too. You're going to be having contact with rocks, trees, you're out there using the stuff aggressively. So you want to look for really durable, high ratings for the waterproof and breathability. For your all-mountain rider, your weekend warrior, you look for something kind of in the middle range. You don't necessarily have to go to the absolute pinnacle of, you know, waterproof and breathability if you're only going out like 3 or 4 times a year. But, you know, the main part is, you know, determining how much you're going to be out there and how aggressive you're going to be riding. And from there, that will help you choose, you know, the clothing and the level of clothing that we have on the site. From there, we'll move into the fabrics themselves. Basically, all these jackets will be rated by a waterproof breathability rating. The first number, the waterproofness, is basically measuring, you know, how waterproof the garment is. What they're going to do is going to take a box of the shell fabric, a very long, kind of rectangular box with one open end, and you're going to submerge that below water. The waterproof rating is measuring how far it will go below the water before the pressure from the water permeates through the fabric. Therefore, if you see a garment that's got a rating of 20,000 millimeters, it's going to be a lot better than one that's 10,000. One thing I always tell people too, when looking at the waterproofing, it's more important to focus on the pants rather than the jacket, because the pants in the realistic riding conditions are what are going to be receiving most of the moisture when you sit down on the snow to strap in, sit down on the wet chairlift, or fall, as we all do from time to time. The jacket, you know, you're still going to get, you know, rain or snow falling from the sky, but like I said, more often or not, it's the pants getting wet. From there, we'll move into breathability. Breathability is measured in the grams of moisture that can escape from the jacket in a given hour. Basically, the fabrics themselves are going to be very, very porous, but on a microscopic level. Too small for the water droplet to go through, but large enough for any kind of vapor such as sweat to permeate through it. Once again here, the higher rating you go, the more breathability you have. Breathability is really, really nice because you can get one jacket, and if it has a high breathability rating, it's going to be comfortable throughout a larger range of temperature conditions. For instance, when you start to overheat, the sweat's just going to permeate through it, and you're going to stay comfortable, you're going to stay dry, even in another jacket with a lower breathability rating where the sweat might pool up underneath and cause you to overheat. From there, different types of fabric out there. You'll see 2-layer, 3-layer, you know, laminate versus coating. On the cheapest jackets, you will see coating. The coating is something that gives the fabric its waterproof breathability ratings. However, because it's usually, you know, on the outside of the jacket, it is going to be, you know, a little less resistant to washings or abrasions. So you won't look for it to hold its waterproof rating as long as something like, say, this jacket here, which is a laminate. Laminate jackets will feature usually just a, you know, 1-layer construction like this, or they'll have a hanging mesh lining. You will see some with insulation and whatnot, but this is, you know, going to be the most traditional way. Laminates are always going to be the most durable because they feature a fabric that is already waterproof and breathable. They put it together with micro meshes and then exterior fabric to really protect that layer. Makes it very, very waterproof and makes it resistant to many washings, and abrasions down the road. From there, you move into, you know, the insulation value. And here we have, you know, a traditional shell, single layer, very, very thin. This is actually a really good option for a lot of the riders out there because you can take a jacket like this and run it through the whole entire season. You can go from the fall all the way into the spring, and even for some summer usage. The insulation, you'll get the insulation from wearing different layers underneath. On a colder day, you might do like a fleece and a couple other layers underneath that to promote the breathability. Where on a nicer day, you'll just be wearing that one first layer garment underneath it. So they're very, very versatile. And typically this construction is what you're gonna see in all the really high and really techy, really waterproof, really breathable jackets. And from there, we'll cut into a lightly insulated jacket. And here we have an example of a mid-weight insulated jacket. Jackets like this typically will have some form of synthetic insulation. You'll see a lot of tag words out there, such as Primaloft, Insulate. Basically, all these are pretty much the same thing. You're looking at a synthetic fiber, which is really, really important. The shell fabric has that breathability we mentioned, and the synthetic fibers are going to allow the vapor to pass through them without it sticking to them, and that's going to keep you warmer and drier throughout the day. Stuff that has like a cotton fill or something like that would just take all that sweat vapor, hold it close to your body. The heat's going to dissipate through the moisture, and you're going to be cold out there. Basically, you can tell a lightly insulated jacket usually have a different lining fabric than shell fabric, and you can feel there's a little thickness to it. A lot of times you'll see gram measurements for this going anywhere from say like a 40 gram up into like a 200 gram. So I mean, that's one way to tell how much is in the jacket. And you can usually find this on the bullet points listed below the description on the site. From there, we'll move into a down jacket. Here we have an example of a down insulated jacket. This is going to be the warmest style of jacket we have in the store. Down jackets are pretty easily discernible by their puffiness, their extra thickness. Really, really, really good if you're looking at always snowboarding in a cold climate such as Minnesota here, or if you're up in Canada. These jackets are going to function pretty well throughout the bulk of the season. Another thing I like about them is they do provide some sort of impact resistance as well. When you fall, it takes a while for the air to escape from the shell fabric. So with that, it kind of cushions your fall. Really, really good option. Like I said, if you're riding a lot in colder climates. The down itself will usually be rated in the hundreds. Most should fall between, say the 400 and 650 range. And anywhere within that range is definitely nice. The higher up you go, the lighter the down does become, and the smaller it will pack down if you are looking for backcountry stuff. Other than that, down you usually will see the compartments on the jacket. That's designed to keep it in that one targeted area of the jacket. And this, like the synthetic insulations, will be targeted in certain areas of the body. You'll see a lot of manufacturers doing more focus through the torso and less in the arms. That's going to promote flexibility in your extremities, but also it's going to keep your core warm, which that houses your internal organs, so therefore the blood flow that circulates out will be warmed up as well. And your torso does have the most surface area on your body, therefore the biggest ability to dump heat. So keeping that area warm, and then the appendages which move around generate their own heat, give them a little bit more flexibility. It's definitely a nice system. From there, we'll move into a convertible system jacket.